Okay, so I'm looking very hip hop because I've got the sun right in my eyes. So I hope you can see my eyes. Hi. So now I'm going to go through these questions and then we'll get to you guys. So first question, while doing de-armoring, I was encountering a few feelings of pain that I didn't know how to treat. I wonder whether they were blockages or whether it's just normal that it doesn't feel so nice to be touched there. So I just want to say, like, wherever there's a resistance to the sensation, that's a form of armoring. So you want to like explore that. So wherever there is a resistance to what you're feeling, go into it. There's certainly neutral sensations where is nothing there. And then there's uncomfortable ones. And if you find that you are resisting it, then just treat it as armor, treat it as you would in any other way. Press into it, give it some love, push out, or use gentle motion to bring just some sensation to the area. So that's what I would say about that. I have a lot of pain around the area just after the entrance to the vagina, but it isn't like numb muscle pain, more like irritated skin. So it's stinging when I touch it. Also when I touch the entrance to the urethra. Yeah, bad sort of stinging pain. I have quite a lot of bladder problems and I was wondering if it had something to do with that. Absolutely, undoubtedly. I think I actually did a little bit of reading around this, and it's actually fairly common for women to experience pain at the entrance of the urethra. And actually there's someone in our research group who has the same thing happening. So I would say that if there's been a resistance, like you've got this sensation in your bladder and you're holding and there's, shame around it and difficulty arising, then absolutely, certainly you'd be contracting and holding. So treat it also as armoring. That stinging sensation, the shards of glass, that's your armor. So treat it with a lot of love and just go through the process and really take your time with it. That stinging sensation can take a while to just chill out a little bit. Interestingly, like I could only get to the stinging at my G-spot when I was using the anal stretcher that's in my de-armoring tools. Otherwise, I couldn't get to it, but I could feel it if a partner was on my G-spot. It would feel like shards of glass, but with that, I could sort of start to open that area. But again, I wouldn't go straight to that instrument, not until you've started working with it and feeling with your fingers first. Okay, so just be patient. Just be patient with that area. Okay, here is my question. It's the next question. In the de-armoring, do we have to push down while pressing, or push down, as in giving birth, after releasing while relaxing? So you push down when you're holding your finger against whatever it is that needs to be released, as if you're pushing it into your finger or your wand. And so I think you're from Germany. If you get a chance to go and work with Celia Rayfelt, she, I believe, developed this. And so when I've had a session with her, she made me cough while she had her finger on the spot, just to experience the downward action. So if you can do that, and the thing is, it's when then you really relax. So you're holding your finger there and you're relaxing and you're breathing, and then you're pushing out actively, and then you're relaxing again, because ultimately we want to get the vagina to a relaxed state. So we go into the expanded state and then we relax again. Yeah. Okay. So another question. I'm in a pretty new relationship. Both of us are discovering each other, and it can be really hard to be committed to this work and not stimulate any parts of the clit or anus. Interestingly, it's not that hard for me to not let anything into my vagina. I'm still unsure. How much is this against the concept in the 3-week course? Okay, so there's a bit of misunderstanding here. You can absolutely touch your clit and your anus. Absolutely. You're absolutely like arousing yourself in whatever way works for you. We just are suggesting in this process not to go over the edge into orgasm. Your clit is a beautiful part of your anatomy, so you don't have to, if you feel like it's too hard and you do go into orgasm easily, then there are other ways that you can arouse yourself with breasts and also around the clit, the vestibular bulbs. And the next part of the question is, interestingly, it's not that hard for, excuse me, someone was just walking past, so I'll just give them a second. Okay, so concept of not letting anything into my vagina. So that's not what we're doing. It's totally okay for someone to enter your vagina as long as you have a yes, as long as it's a yes with your body, heart, and mind. You absolutely can enter yourself. And what we're just suggesting is when you're fully aroused, then your cervix is lifted and you're not crossing your own boundaries and getting your cervix hit into. So absolutely you can play inside. We're just learning like, oh, you know, it's I want to keep up with his arousal or her arousal and, you know, like allow some entry before I'm actually ready. Can you put yourselves on mute, you guys?
Sorry.
Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. So nothing's off limits. Like you've got to enjoy yourself fully, but we're just asking you to feel into what's right for you. Yeah, so whether it's right for you to enter right now. But absolutely, when you take something into your vagina, it's a beautiful healing tool, whether it's fingers or a cock or a dildo. So you could actually encourage him to send all of his energy and imagine his cock was light, like full of light. And that was just like working on your cervix in circles. So you're rotating rather than banging. Yeah? Okay. Can you speak to a place where deep rest and relaxation can become disconnect and avoidance? Yeah, totally. When your mind checks out. I was interested today in my own practice. When I got bored, my mind would check out, and I was curious, why am I checking out right then? And so when you want to check out and your mind starts wondering, what is it that's there that doesn't want to be felt? Go back to it and feel. So it's a very meditative experience. We're learning how to stay embodied. So it can be, you know, if you're used to fantasy or if you're used to having external stimulation, it can be a very quiet experience. So we're really learning to train the mind to stay with it and feel sensations. And in this week's content, there is something on creating a clearing within yourself to feel. So you're practicing mindfulness essentially, and you might flip out of your body and then come back in. So you can arouse yourself again and then expand and breathe and enjoy that state and relax completely. Can you speak more about creating a safe space within ourselves for this practice? Yeah. So there are many ways. If you know your external environment has to feel like you have to feel safe. So is the door locked? Do you feel like you know you're going to be interrupted by children, or like you've got housemates that might hear you? So make sure your external environment feels safe to you, including your space. If you're in the bedroom, the lighting, is it a mess? Do you feel like you can actually relax in that space? And then safety within yourself. There are a few things. If you find it very difficult to stay with sensation, or there's some trauma coming up, you can use the resourced body. And it means tuning into a part of your body that's safe, like your hands or the top of your head, something that doesn't have a trigger for you. And then self-soothing, so self-mothering in a way, so holding yourself in a way as if you were mothering yourself. Words that calm you down, like I am safe, this is safe, I'm completely safe within myself, I trust myself. Dropping into the body and out of the stories in the head which cause sort of anxiety and put you into your sympathetic nervous system. Yeah, so you want to like drop into your body and breathe deep. If you flip up into your head and you get caught in like judgment, that's not going to feel very safe. And then something else is just over time developing your muscle of trust. So like I trust myself. I know when I'm good at asking for my needs to be met, my desires to be met, and I'm good at not crossing my boundary. And you develop that over time, and you start to be a strong container for your experience. I'm still confused about the inner yes and no. Do you have any advice how to gain clarity? Yeah, I think it's just practice and starting to really listen. And, you know, you can practice this out of the bedroom. So do you want pasta? Do you want salad? One of them is going to make you feel like, yeah, I want salad. One of them is going to be like, no, I don't want pasta. One of them is going to feel more contracted. So I want you to listen to that in your own experience. If you say like in your life, what is a yes and what is a no? Like, do you want to go out this evening or do you want to stay in? And what is that experience in your body? So you're learning to listen. Oh, you know, I went out even though I actually didn't feel like it. And then I was just tired and it wasn't so good. So I didn't listen to my no. So it's the same with self-penetration. It's like, does it feel like an expansion or a contraction? And this is really subtle. And this is the practice. So you're just practicing listening. Is it a opening or a closing? Opening or closing? So you learn to listen to that in your body. Yeah. Please help. I'm having expansive orgasmic arousal states of being. You poor thing. I'm finding it difficult to concentrate on work, driving, parenting. I'm meeting myself with my wand, my fingers, my lover, dancing, massage. How long will it last? Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, look, at the bright side, you've got a lot of energy flowing. And then it's hard to function sometimes. So make sure you connect with the earth and nature, like really get into the ground, take your shoes off, walk in the grass, massage your feet, do physical work or exercise. So make sure you're just like, let that energy out sometimes, somehow. Yeah, so you're really expelling it. You know, eat good meals. So earthy root vegetables, full meals, not kind of light salady things. You need like grounding food. Yeah, massage your feet, avoid stimulants, so coffee, alcohol, etc. And just if you need to rest off the practice, just do that. Rest off the practice until you feel grounded. And so I believe that is all the questions here. So I want to just ask you guys who are here with me, do you have anything that you would like to ask? So anyone can go, just take yourself off mute and ask. Did I see your question? Is it okay to listen to listen to some music while practicing, like mantras? Yeah, there's actually a whole bunch of playlists in this week's content. And if you have something that you love to listen to, tell me about it and I can add it to one of the playlists. So it's a collaboration. Does anybody else have a question? And you know, music is such a great way to get into the experience. It provides a mood, you know. So for me, here's a great example. Today I needed to cry and I knew I needed to cry. And so I put on a piano playlist and I just did Diamond My Belly, and it helped me release emotion. It can also help you get into a sensual place as well. So if you feel like a little blocked sometimes, music is a great way in. Anyone else? While you're thinking about it, I'm just going to check the emails to make sure there's no other questions. And this will go up live tomorrow. I'll put it up. Or you can comment. If you've got nothing that you want to actually ask, you can make a comment about your experience and share it.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. I finally found a place.
I'm in my email. So where are you? Ah, yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So I just wanted to ask about the jade egg.
Yeah.
Because since I've been starting using it, but I don't know actually what to do with it, and I guess it's a good way to start. Feeling something inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And are you going to talk about that a bit, or maybe do some kind of instruction video?
Yeah, no, because we're not doing jade egg work in here. It's almost the opposite. So whereas
Is it?
Yeah, well, whereas the jade egg is about squeezing, we're actually about releasing and pushing out in the
other. Yeah, but it's also about getting more feeling, and
Absolutely.
also getting to that small sensations and stuff. Of course
I agree. I totally agree. And actually, the reason why it's not in the content is simply because there's a lot already.
Yeah, I know.
So if we were going to do something on the jade egg, it will be in the next level of this program.
Okay.
So, you know, how I use it is usually passively. I will wear it during the day or while I'm sleeping, or I will practice pushing out with it. I don't do too much contracting, so I might move my body, like do hip circles. So my pelvis is tilting, and there's more like a passive movement.
Yeah.
Squeezes my yoni, which helps me feel. So I just like to dictate how to use things. I think every woman needs to decide what's happening. I found that for myself, when I was doing a lot of the contracting, that I was getting tense. So I have to do a de-armoring straight afterwards just to like relax my muscles again. So that might not be your experience. And the jade egg is a beautiful way to feel. So incorporate it in your practice. Like maybe it's something that you want to do before you de-armor. So you wear it and maybe you pull the string a bit and you play with feeling it, you know, play with the subtle sensation, and then and then do your de-armoring. So
I actually usually I try. I both do the squeezing, but also I just if I go to a yoga session or Pilates session, then I have it in, and I'm working with it in that sense. So it's more, just doing its own, and I never string it either. I just, push it out or get it out. So for me, because yesterday I had that candida stuff and it was so much, so I really felt it, so I couldn't do anything more, but I feel like I have some kind of presence every day now, even though it's just the egg worm.
That's good. You know, that's good. And this is your exploration. Like maybe you can ask, how do you use the egg? You know, I think that you're your teacher. You're the teacher of your own. And that's exciting. You know, we're all guides for each other. And so I think the basic jade egg practice is literally you string it and you pull down, squeeze and resist against it. So I wouldn't, my personal preference is that you don't do that too hard. You just do it so that it invokes the sensation that you want to feel. Other teachers would probably say I'm completely like wrong. They would have their own stringing backwards. You know, like they're stringing weights from their vagina. I don't.
I've heard that, but I feel that that's not what I want to do at all. I want to enhance the sensation. That's what I'm after.
That's it. And it sounds like you already are. It sounds like that's what and this practice of just really gentle squeezing, it will enhance your sensation, and wearing it all the time, and when you're wearing it, focusing on, can you feel it right now? You know, like it's good to do that. So I hope that is somewhat helpful. So you be an explorer, wear it passively, push it out, use that opportunity, sometimes string it, maybe do gentle tugs with resistance, but I wouldn't recommend and pelvic rocks and circles with your hips and lying on
Yeah,
your...
I do shaking and stuff with it inside.
Great. Perfect. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much,
Yeah, I
Magdalena.
know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. I've got another question here. Natalie, do you think it's crucial to have a TheraWand for de-armoring the cervix? It's crucial for me. It is the primary thing that I use. It's actually, if I could make it myself, I'd make it slightly longer. And so I probably will try and make it for us. But why it's essential for me is because it's not big, and so there isn't. It's easier to receive and just focus on the de-armoring. It's like a finger, and it has a specific end. So now I know where my cervix is. I can feel it with my finger. I really understand how to feel it with the TheraWand. It's my preference, but you know, like I always say, it's your body. So I like to try things. So maybe you can decide if it's crucial for your cervix. Okay. Has anybody else got a question or a comment? Sometimes it's hard to know if you get a yes from your yoni because you are so aroused. Well, that would be pretty subjective, I suppose, because for me, if I was in that state, then I would probably feel that was a yes. I suppose I would have to ask my heart and my mind, are they all aligned? Do I want this to happen? Is it my will? Is my heart in it? As in, I feel good about this right now. And then it seems like your body's in it. So that's my answer to that one. Sounds like a bit of a yes. I mean, I get so wet and horny, but I'm still with someone I'm not safe with. Huh. Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, so do you feel like you want to open to that person or not? Sounds like you're not safe with them, right? So there's a part of you that isn't in alignment with that information, right? Is a part of you that's not in alignment, so you don't feel safe. Does that mean that your heart's not quite there? You know, if you don't feel safe, yeah, so there you go. So I guess if it's a maybe, it's a no. And your whole work here is to try and create a situation in which you feel safe. That's your work. And it might be a conversation. It might be can you put yourselves on mute, please? It might be a conversation around consent, Magdalena, where you know that it's safe for you to say yes or no. Can you mute yourselves? Yeah, so it might be that you need to have a conversation whereby you create safety for yourself. So you don't feel safe with this person. So I'm assuming that they're not forcing themselves on you, but that you don't trust that they have your back, that they're not really looking after your best interests. So that's your responsibility to hold strong and create that boundary for yourself. No, your body can totally respond sexually. Like danger it can be totally arousing. It just doesn't mean it's the right alignment for your cervix, you know? And also I want to say I'm not the person to judge whether you decide to let that person in, but we're just training how do we create safety for ourselves and be responsible for that. Yeah, your brain, it's you know, like the sympathetic nervous system is in charge of your orgasm and your fear. It's very closely linked in your brain. Arousal it has partly a sympathetic nervous system activation, and so does danger and fear. And so it's right in there. Yeah, it can be confusing. So you just have to keep asking yourself, is this a yes or is this a no? And if I am opening my body, who is this for? Is it for me or is it for him? Or her, sorry. Is it for her? Whoever you're partnered with. Or them. It's the same if I'm alone. So you don't feel safe. Yeah, so your work is to work on feeling internally safe and externally safe. So I would say over the next few days, there's some videos in this week around creating safety. So have a watch and like make that your mission. What is it that you need to do to create safety in your external environment, in your relationship, and in your internal world? Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I get a yes or I'm just aroused. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So you have to ask, is it you fully aligned, body, mind, heart? And it sounds like one of those is not in alignment. So your work is to get it into alignment so that you're fully able to say yes with a wholeheartedly. Yeah. So anybody else have a question?